All right. Welcome to What's Niggling Me. My first note is this week, am I going to see Canadian criticism of Xi Jinping? Because he put tariffs on Canada. Am I going to see the same energy from the Canadians about Trump towards Xi Jinping? Because I highly fucking doubt it. I highly fucking doubt it. Because the majority of people everywhere are fucking sheep. And they're just parroting what is fucking said on the news. It makes me fucking laugh. We just got an unelected fucking prime minister, Mark Carney, who is going to impose carbon taxes on us and continue to raise them. I don't see any complaints about that. It's only about Trump and Elon. They're the reason for all the problems in the world. So when you say that kind of shit to me, I'm gonna ignore everything else you have to say because you're either uninformed or just part of the pack. I just feel like nobody's a critical thinker and they just fucking follow. I watched during COVID and I'm watching the majority of the people that fell for COVID complain about Trump and Elon and not complain about any of the other things going on in the world. China supplies us with so many goods. The majority of our pharmaceuticals come from China. If they want to impose tariffs on everything because Canada thinks they're all high and mighty, our liberal government has convinced people that we're a powerful country. We are not a powerful country. BRICS is fucking building. Nobody fucking complains about that. The majority of people probably don't even know what BRICS is. Attacking China, attacking Russia, information-wise, and also aiding Ukraine. Our leaders are, I feel, it's not that they're playing a dumb game to antagonize and attack these countries and push them together. They're gonna make their own currency. They're really gonna fuck the economy coming up here. When they make a currency, Saudi Arabia is up in the air. And as much as people fucking hate Trump, if the Democrats would have got in, if fucking Kamala would have got in, Saudi Arabia, they have an open invitation to BRICS right now. If the Democrats would have got in, Saudi Arabia probably would have went with BRICS. But I think because of Eric Kushner, they won't go with BRICS. That's only a 4-year plan. That's trouble if Saudi Arabia goes with BRICS. What if after these 4 years, with all the attacking Elon Musk decides, I'm going to move Tesla, SpaceX, everything back to South Africa because they're part of BRICS. What if he takes his fortune and takes all his industries out of America and puts them in South Africa? Or in China? They're part of BRICS. If they have a global currency by then. The United Arab Emirates are in BRICS. So there's a lot of fucking money in BRICS. Russia supplies the oil. China supplies the bajillion fucking goods to the world. If we, NATO, 14 Eyes, think we're so powerful, why do, like, shouldn't you be trying to build a relationship with these fucking countries? Instead of building an enemy and having them form against us? Diplomacy just is a thing of the past, it seems. It's so fucking sad. It's so sad. And then the amount of people that are delusional, unaware, is extremely high. Powerful people have they've consumed the mass population with entertainment. They've killed everyone's attention spans. So nobody can pay attention. I feel fortunate. I have the opposite. My brother has ADHD. Diagnosed pretty fucking young. He does have it. Like, I've watched. I didn't like that he was on medication when he was young. I didn't like that fucking Adderall shit. It changes him. But now, everyone has ADHD. It's insane. The majority of people need their fucking phone in their hand. I remember my mom complaining because at a point I didn't have a phone. I didn't care for a fucking cell phone. It's annoying to be fucking distracted. I don't, because if I get on there and I'm distracted, then I can't stop. I don't like it. So you need to have a fucking phone, you need to have a phone, you need to have a way to contact you. I don't, it's a waste of time and energy. I don't like wasting my time and energy. I fucking hate wasting my time and energy. But people love fucking click, 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 click. It's a waste of time and energy. The real world is way more entertaining than the fake fucking entertainment they fucking put on TV. The real world is so interesting. Like, what is Jeffrey Epstein and Mike Jeffries have in common? Les Wexner. It's incredible that two people that worked for Les Wexner ran huge, what do you want to call them? Sex trafficking rings. That's what we'll call them. Mike Jeffries and Jeffrey Epstein ran sex trafficking rings. And they both worked for Les Wexner. Les Wexner is a powerful Jewish man who nobody cares about in the justice system. Les Wexner, even though Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries was running a sex trafficking ring of men, a closeted gay man who is married to a woman and has a kid, was running a sex trafficking ring. The CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, Les Wexner's company, and then Jeffrey Epstein, who everybody knows who that is, became the power of attorney for Les Wexner in 1991, I think. 1991, That's how long ago. Never and these people get away with it. But no more. Because I will not stop talking about it. There are so many old men that are fucking pedophiles. There are so many old pedophiles. Prove me fucking wrong. Because I'm gonna constantly fucking name all these fucking people because the news won't fucking put it out there. I don't know why. Mike Jeffries, when he got caught, was on like a local Fox fucking station. When the sheriff or whoever the fuck it was a couple years ago, remember, it wasn't national fucking coverage, I can tell you that. Mom didn't even know who that person was. People don't, because powerful people are hiding that. Why? Les Wexner. He's one of the most powerful people, if not the most powerful person in Ohio. Mike Jeffries. You know, Salon.com. Back in the day, they were dropping bombs. Metaphorically. They got stories out there. There's articles still you can find that I hope don't get ripped down. I have screenshots of them because I don't trust the internet. They like to rip shit down, especially family trees. If you go up look people's family trees, then questionable things start happening about these people, they remove those fucking family trees off the internet. They did it to Kamala. When Candace Owens started bringing it up, the family tree that I was looking up on, Gene Tree, a bunch of those got removed. I learned my lesson of having to screenshot things. Yeah, Salon.com has an article about the Israeli art students fucking for 9/11. I'm more and more sure of 9/11, what really happened, who was really involved. Every day, I am more confident. On top of that, I was going over RFK, not Junior, RFK. I was going over his murder because it wasn't Sirhan, the Palestinian that they set up. It was, in my opinion, Thane Gene Caesar. Okay? He shot RFK in the back, in my opinion. But I know I was hearing that. So I gotta look this up. Got it in my notes. Ace Security, I think, or Secret Security or Secret Service, but there was Ace Security, I think, at that building. I forget what the building's called. Ace Security, I think, is what I heard. Well, I remember reading that the company that fixed the elevators or did renovations on the elevators, something like that, in the Twin Towers, was an Ace company as well. They didn't go with the company that installed the elevators. They went with a different company. It was called Ace as well. So I'm curious. The internet wasn't that good in 2001. So I'm thinking possibly the government, because they didn't know the internet was going to get this good decades ago, that, especially 100 years ago, where I can look at those treaties and stuff like that Israel has with the Rothschild. That ACE, yeah, the 9/11. That ACE company, yeah, I think that they were sloppy, and 70-something years later, the government used another fake company called ACE. It's my hypothesis, and I'm going to look into. Back to Jeffries. Salon.com reported in 2006 that Jeffries was a gay man who lived separately from his wife. 7 years later, that was confirmed. Smith. No, not Smith. That's his romantic partner. In 2003, I'm just going to click this because I actually don't know what it's called. Okay, that's what I thought it was. The BBC, not the Big Black Hawk, the British Broadcasting Casting Company, completed a 2-year investigation into several allegations that Jeffries and his cohorts exploited young adult men for sex. The events allegedly occurred in Jeffries' New York residences and at luxury hotels around the world. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense, right? Mike Jeffries was getting young men, I don't know this, to fuck him or he fuck them. I don't know what he's into. And I don't know how that works in homosexual circles. Maybe it's a switch. I don't know. So yeah, he was getting these young models, promising them modeling deals and shit with Abercrombie and Fitch, and victimizing them, kind of like Jeffrey Epstein. And Les Wexner let Jeffrey Epstein have control of Victoria's Secret, and Victoria's Secret had a teen fucking thing, like Licenza. And Jeffrey Epstein, some girls reported, was fraudulently, I don't even know if that's the correct word for it. Jeffrey Epstein was acting as a recruit different times for Victoria's Secret for young girls, procuring them for himself and others. So both Mike Jeffries and Epstein were doing the same thing with Les Wexner's companies. He somehow didn't know anything about it, even though these things went on for a long fucking time. How long is Mike Jeffries? Mike Jeffries is a long time. Mike Jeffries did this for over a decade. I can't find it. How long was it? It was a long time. '92 to 2014. Long time. Les Wexner. Should have to be deposed. Les Wexner needs a fucking polygraph. It ain't right. It's not right. For years, I've been bringing Les Wexner up to people, and no answers. It's like, huh. The older I get, the less I believe in coincidences. And the more I believe, damn, Theo Von's got on Danny McBride right now. Just dropped. Damn. Damn. That's pretty cool. I'll have to watch that. Les Wexner, okay? This guy. I don't trust this guy at all. Gets in no trouble. Mike Jeffries engaged in sex trafficking with over 100 young men in exchange for promises of employment for coveted modeling spots, money, and drugs in October 2024. In a separate case, Jeffries was arrested and indicted by federal prosecutors on criminal charges of sex trafficking and interstate prostitution. So, he's alive, okay? He's not dead yet. He claims Alzheimer's and a bunch of shit, though, so that he can not have to go to jail. I know it. Okay, we got the BBC. Yeah, Mike Jeffries. And I got another pedophile I'll tell you about in a minute, because the news doesn't like to tell us. But these old fucks. Les Wexner. Oh no, this is the Wexner Foundation. This guy's a piece of shit, in my opinion. Oh, what pops up when I type Les Wexner in Google? NBC4, Columbus, Epstein victim says Ohio billionaire Les Wexner engaged in sex acts with ... January 9th, that is. Oh shit, let's listen to this. This is January 10th. What?
And he comes at a time where one of the university's biggest donors is coming under scrutiny.
10 TV's Colin Dorsey sat down one-on-one with President Dr. Ted Carter today. Colin, what did he have to say about all this?
Yeah, just yesterday, Jeffrey Epstein's alleged victim named New Albany billionaire Les Wexner, and some new documents dropped yesterday. Now, it's important to note Wexner is not charged with a crime. Wexner being named, like the others named, only constitutes a possible association as a witness, as a social or business contact. Now, the Wexners have been big donors and supporters of the Ohio State. The new hospital complex bears their name. Well, today, I got to sit down with new OSU President Ted Carter and ask him what the university is planning to do now. With yesterday, new documents being dropped, new accusations against Les Wexner regarding the Jeffrey Epstein case, they still do have a lot of ties to the university. Is that something that you're looking at?
Well, first, the Wexners have been wonderful philanthropic partners for this university, and we won't forget that. I read those unveilings, if you will, just like everybody else, and there's a lot of other names. So I want to be cautious not to jump to any conclusions. Let's wait till more facts come out. I've had a chance to meet Mr. Wexner, and I'm very thankful for what he's done here with the university.
Let's wait and see. That's what the university is doing for now. Les Wexner and his affiliates have donated more than $200 million to the university over the years. The $100 million gift to the medical center, the James Cancer Hospital, and the Wexner Center for the Arts was the largest single donation in OSU's history. Wexner has, in the past, denied any awareness of Epstein's illegal activity. 2020, the university completed a review of donations from Epstein and his foundations, finding $336,000. OSU then contributed that amount to the Ohio AG's office. Carter said that's something he would consider looking at if there's more to the recent allegations.
We'd certainly look into it, but yeah, the university's done the right things with money that came from the Epstein Foundation, return it back to the Attorney General's office for human trafficking initiatives, and I'm proud of what they did there.
Now, we have reached out to the Wexner Foundation for a comment, and we haven't heard back as of this evening. Now, it is important to note that Wexner, once again, has not been charged with any wrongdoing. Live from the campus of...
And you know what came from that? Nothing. Wild. So let's click on this piece of shit. So this guy's dad came over here from Russia and married his mom. Moved to Ohio. He pays a fuckload of money to keep a clean image. So did all the mobsters, and you know, they'd go to in Frank Lucas, they go to the fucking hood and give turkeys out. Lil Durk did it. So this guy, he's got the study group. Where the mega group. They're probably not going to tell me, eh? Well, here's a nice note. George W. Bush appointed Wexner to serve in the honorary delegation to accompany him to Jerusalem for the celebration of the 60th anniversary of the State of Israel. Where's his study group at? I don't like that I can't find it. I know it's in here. We will find it. The Wexner Foundation, an American philanthropic organization which focuses on developing Jewish professional and volunteer leaders in North America and public leaders in Israel. We don't like that. I hear that Abigail, his wife, knows about his personal life. This guy. So, Leslie Wexner founded two separate organizations in the early 80s designed to create strong leaders in Israel. The Wexner Heritage Foundation and the Wexner Graduate Fellowship. I believe this is where this is Jewish spy, this is Israeli spy stuff right here. This fellow and Mr. Epstein and maybe Mike Jeffries. So why can't I find the mega group? Study group, Jewish group. Like Wikipedia puts this in here. When I Google the mega group, this is what comes up. Makes me laugh. I don't know if it can be seen. It makes me laugh. The mega group. The mega group was an informal group of influential Jewish entrepreneurs involved in Jewish affairs. It was founded in 1991 by Les Wexner and Charles Bronfman. Charles Bronfman. He's one of the most powerful Canadian people. And I got my eye on this guy because his company is one of his companies, one of the OG companies, basically. The company that made that family money. It was in the town I grew up in. All those Crown Royal purple bags with the drawstring, they were all over the place when I was growing up. Les Wexner and this rich fuck, Charles Bronfman, the bootlegger, made a ton of money during Prohibition. They started the mega group, which they constantly keep putting the study group. It's said to have up to 50 members, including Steven Spielberg. I don't hear good things about Steven Spielberg. I don't know if a lot of people know that. I hear Drew Barrymore stuff. The group is inspired several philanthropic initiatives such as the Partnership for Excellence in Jewish Education, Birthright Israel, and support for the renewal of Hillel International. Let's click on that. Come on. Wow. I'm gonna have to take a screenshot of this and look into the Hillel International. I never heard anybody talk about that before. That's a worldwide interesting company with a lot of influence, it seems. So this group, a pro-Israel lobby group. The organization is also said to have tried to influence U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East. In 2003, it employed Republican political consultant Frank Luntz to help the group mobilize support for Israel. The group, when the year they went into Iraq, the group is also said to have had contacts with the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad and to have served as a base for intelligence operations in the United States. Jeffrey Epstein is said to have used the group to build up his network of high-ranking contacts in business, media, and politics, just like Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. The billionaire Wexner was a major financial supporter of Epstein, later claimed to have known nothing of his criminal activities. The fuck kind of world do we live in? Why are these people allowed to do this? Why? Money, power. Like, it's fucking horseshit. It's seriously fucking horseshit. Our greatest allies have so much influence. Lex Wexner, Charles Bronfman, Edgar Bronfman, Max Fisher, Michael Steinhardt, Leonard Abramson, Harvey Meyerhoff, Lawrence Tisch, Charles Schusterman, Steven Spielberg, Lester Crown, Marvin Lender, Ronald Lauder. Fuck, does that shit disgust me? these are the references for it. Lisa Miller, Titans of industry join forces to work for Jewish philanthropy. The Mogul and the Monster, inside Jeffrey Epstein's decade-long relationship with his biggest client. That's from Vanity Fair. And then former NSA counterspy says Jeffrey Epstein was part of Israeli network. That's Washington Times. Doesn't matter if they rate those stories. This group will see no problems. So the Bronfmans, okay, both of them are in here. Which one do I want? Edgar? Is that the one I'm looking for? This is the one I'm looking for. This piece of shit. Okay? Canadian-American businessman. He worked for his family's distilled beverage firm, Seagram's, eventually becoming president and treasurer and CEO. As president of the World Jewish Congress, Bronfman, he died in 2013. Okay? Is especially remembered for initiating diplomacy with the Soviet Union, which resulted in legitimizing the Hebrew language in the USSR. Contributed to Soviet Jews being legally able to practice their religion as well as immigrate to Israel. Then they put that Ukraine borderline up and they said no more of your Orthodox religion here. And no more speaking the Russian language. Only Ukrainian. So two of this piece of shit's fucking daughters, Sarah and Claire, were also involved in hoof. Let's see what they specifically call it. A sex cult. That's what I'll call it. I'll call it a cult that involved sex trafficking. That fucking woman was a billionaire. I'm curious. She probably gets to keep. I wonder how much money she's got now. But this piece of shit got convicted. Conspiracy to conceal and harbor illegal aliens for financial gains. Fraudulent use of identification. She was funding this Nexium. Some people know about Nexium. It's very interesting. It's almost like a Scientology, but they had this little sex cult going on, and it was pretty crazy. It's another look into how controlled you, how well you can control people. It's very easy to control people. But from the outside, you're like, how are you doing? Why are you doing this? And how are you falling for this? Watch some of the Nexium documentaries, and you'll be like, how are these girls? Why are these women? What they were doing was they got this. I don't know how. Manipulation, I suppose. And this guy had a Ghislaine Maxwell. He had a counterpart, but she didn't get in as much trouble. She somehow weaseled her way out of it. But this guy, Keith Raniere, I don't know if I ever talked about that cult on here, like in here before. Keith Raniere, I'm not talking about the whole fucking thing, but I'll talk about this specific thing that's wild. They had this cult going on for a long time. They somehow were curing people with Tourette's. That's just another side note. You can look it up if you're interested. But it somehow seemed legit. I don't know how. One of them went on Theo Von's podcast before. Cured Tourette's. Which is cool, if it's real, if it's possible. I don't know. They got this little sex cult going on. It's an international cult. And it was just women and Keith Raniere. And a lot of these women, like, they got fucking partners. They got a husband and shit. They're in this fucking cult. And sex cult. And they're like, so this is crazy. This is what Russians did to Germans that they had captured. I'm pretty sure that's who it was doing this. I'm not trying to slander any nationality. These people were doing horrible things to each other. There's this torture tactic of you have a prisoner, and when a new prisoner comes in, the prisoner who's been there for a long time is in charge of overseeing the new prisoner and inflicting torture on them. And if they don't inflict enough torture, if they're lenient or anything, the new person says that to the guards, and that person goes back to a day one. So, like, in the sex cult, they had, like, Allison Mack say is an OG in the sex cult with Keith Raniere. She's gone to jail for a long time. She went from Hollywood to jail. They bring in a new girl, and they're like, you gotta, I don't know. None of these are specific ones, I'm just making them up. Give me a picture of your pussy. They built up blackmail. They tell me your darkest secrets, and they're texting, like Allison, I think these OGs are just getting blackmail. For some reason, these girls want to be in the cool sex cult. I don't know why. I don't know. And then they're their slave. They literally call them my slave. Like in NXIVM sex cult. And they tell them, like, they put them on diet plans. These girls are eating like 1,000 fucking calories. And they're just dominating them. They're dominating new girls. And then, once they're like initiated or whatever, or their initiation, once they're like proven that they've given up this blackmail and stuff like that, they brand them right above their pussies. And the brand was like Keith Raniere and Allison Mack's initials at a certain angle. I forget what the angle was. It's been a long time since I looked it up. But I paid attention when all this was going down a long time ago. And because it was fucking wild. This is before Epstein. It was fucking wild. But a lot of people have their head in the sand and don't pay attention to the real world. The real world that they're telling kids when they grow up, hey, like, wait till you get into the real world. The adults are fucking delusional. The adults have their head in the sand, distracted by fucking frivolous, mindless garbage. And just do what they're fucking told by the government, and because they think they have their best interest. Well, these rich fucks just profit off these mindless simple thinkers, smooth brain, goldfish fucking thinkers. So Claire and her sister Sarah, who somehow weaseled her way out of saying, I didn't know about the sex cult. I was just in the NXIVM cult. Weasel her out. Yeah, she's the youngest daughter of a billionaire philanthropist. Philanthropist. Oh, I have a coffee. Son of a bitch. And former Seagram Liquor chairman Edgar Bronfman Sr. After a brief equestrian career, Bronfman began involvement in NXIVM, a business engaged in criminal activities during 1998 to 2018, which led to indictments on federal charges including sex trafficking. Dummy. So that's one of Edgar Bronfman Sr.'s daughters. Now, this guy's got a bunch of kids. Edgar Miles Bronfman Jr. was previously the CEO for Warner Music Group from 2004 to 2011 and was the chairman from 2011 to 2012. These people, they talk about generational wealth and like these powerful families that lose it quickly. There's so many families that people just don't even know about that are in control. When I look at Canada's top billionaires, the majority of them own news companies. The majority of them own all news companies. They own all information. So there's never a bad story about them. If they're doing anything illegal, it's never going to be in the news. Simple as that. Like, we live in a joke world. A curated joke world. That that the majority of people are just like, oh, what the fuck is that out there? The majority of people are like, oh, it's too complicated. You're just gonna go about their lives. And I'm like, why do you just go along and accept this bullshit? Why not fucking call these people out? So I'm like, fuck it. Fuck it. COVID made me say, fuck it. I hear so many people's opinions, and I'm like, man, I think these opinions are based on minimal knowledge and a curated script instead of you doing research about the issues. So I started just hunting information. I don't trust these people. We'll do a whole thing about all the Bronfmans. All the way back. How they made their bootleg and money. But how about Robert Miller? Another Canadian pedophile. Like Epstein, I'm curious about Joe Biden. Joe Biden had an island down there. The Biden family had an island down there. Robert Gerald Miller. This guy was born the same year my aunt was, just like Mike Jeffries. But these old men, I have a call coming up with my aunt. and I'm gonna ask her. It's a crazy conversation to have, but I feel like with the conversations we've been having, I feel like she knows her son is a pedophile hunter in Canada, so she's aware of the real world, where my mom is not really aware of the real world. My aunt's aware of the real world. She's 19 years older than my mom. Margaret Sanger would have said to abort my mom. That dumb bitch. This guy was the founder of Future Electronics. Very interesting company. Out of Quebec. This guy had to clearly sell it. But I think like a Taiwanese company fucking bought this place. Or bought this company. I don't know why Taiwan has such good tech. Yeah. 2024, Microelectronics of Taiwan announced it had completed the acquisition of Future Electronics. Future Electronics is a privately owned company and is currently the third largest electronics distributor in the world. So this secret pedophile that I've never heard anybody mention this guy's name owned the third biggest distributor of electronics in the world. And he has allegations of at least 28 women of setting up a system involving paying young girls for sex. And he's also a supporter of the Alcor Life Extension Foundation in cryogenics research, and he intends to be cryopreserved. This pedophile, when he dies, wants to be cryogenically preserved so he can be brought back to life later. Just like quite a few of those other pedophiles, those rich pedophiles. Epstein was into that. Peter Nygaard was into that. These rich pedophiles want to get brought back to life and are huge in preserving life, funding that. Like it. We live in a crazy, sick world. These rich people are playing a whole different game. Pretty fucking insane. We live in a crazy world. All right. What other notes? I probably got just a couple other notes. I love to hear what the people who were pushing and so joyous over Bashar al-Assad getting ousted and having to go to fucking Russia, and we were getting new Syrian leadership, Al-Qaeda, who were fucking slaughtering tons of people. Was this a good plan? Was it? I can't wait to hear if it was worth it to oust Assad. Is just the murder of thousands of people the cost of war? Millions of Iraqis, the cost of war. Looks like another Libya is gonna happen to me. But maybe, you know what's gonna probably have to happen? The United States is gonna have to go bring democracy there. Even though they don't go bring democracy to China, North Korea, right? China and North Korea are allowed to do whatever they want. Russia's the problem. Iran's the problem. Even though the United States is the reason Iran has the problem. Are we gonna go spread some more democracy in the Middle East? Because it's worked so well. Facebook world. Let's see what we got. Anything else? There is a document I'm going to read. I got a screenshot of it here. I didn't want to click onto it because I know the documents. I could see that it was long, but I didn't want to click on this government document and have them know I have it open. They're going to be like, "Oh, someone has this government document open, this PDF," and I don't want them to look at me for that long. But I got one here I'm going to look at, and it's an old blackmail ring. Government document. A different one. Another guy. Oh, I see this. You know, and I know I mentioned it before about Joe Biden. When Joe Biden was growing up, let's see how much time we're at here. 56. Okay. When Joe Biden, I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm trying to understand it from these people's perspectives. A lot of these things that I come across, I can't. But so Joe Biden. Fuck, I forget when he was born. Around 1940, I think. When he was growing up, the age of consent was 14 years old, I believe. Age of consent was 14 in the state Biden grew up in till I think the 90s, which probably is insane. So that's why I think he's a weirdo and sniffs little kids. That's what I think. I think that's why he showered with his daughter, Ashley Biden, until she was, I think, 15, she wrote in her diary. I think that's why he's a weirdo. Or we see as a weirdo, where I think that was normal when they were growing up. I think they're going to use that excuse, which is fucked. I was not sympathizing or making an excuse for Joe Biden, but I think that these old fucks are going to use that if they get taken to court. Because I see here the National Post says most but not all of the billionaire's accusers were at or above the age of consent when he allegedly started showering them with gifts and handing them envelopes stuffed with cash in return for sex and sharing intimate baths. But the age of consent was just 14 during the relevant period, and minors of any age can't legally consent to paid sex with an adult. In addition to potential criminal charges, Miller faces multiple lawsuits, including a proposed class action by 47 of his alleged victims, who are seeking hundreds of millions of dollars in damages from Future Electronics. According to Miller's lawyer, Reno, nobody should read any admission of guilt into any reports of negotiations between the billionaire and his accusers because the only victim here is Miller. Oh yeah. Okay, buddy. I guess we'll see. I don't know if this is true, but I read this today. Health Canada has granted 3 amendments in the past 7 months to include MDMA, cocaine / coca leaf, opium, morphine, and I don't even know what this is, diacetylmorphine into their dealer's license. It's in British Columbia. What about, I don't even know. I don't even know what that, to think about it. Asia Wilson, good at basketball. You know what? Fuck, I'm at 500 tabs. What tab am I getting rid of here? This person commented on one of my videos on Rumble. Iron like a lion in Zion. And you know, I know that's a Bob Marley, from a Bob Marley song, but I think the meaning is up to for interpretation. So I don't know what that person intended by that comment. Asia Wilson, what did you go to school for? To have the thoughts and views you have that I think are dumb. This woman acts like it's 1960. So what did you go to school for? I know you're real good at basketball, but LeBron's real good at basketball, and he's not very smart either. I don't want to know about college career. I want to know about what you did at school. Private school. Yeah, like I know that she is a privileged woman. She acts like she's from the 60s. Or, yeah, like grew up in the 60s. Why can't I find out anything about going to college for fucking 4 years besides playing basketball? Wilson spent her grade school and high school years as one of the few black students in Heathwood Hall. I don't even know what that word is. School, a Southern Columbia private school. Who acts like she's not privileged? College career, national team. Off the court, yeah. Mom was a court stenographer. Dad played professional ball in Europe. Uncle played ball in Europe. Majored in mass communications. Finally, barely got anything about fucking her actual school. Literally a fucking sentence. Now, I know she's dating Bam Adebayo, and if they have a kid, the potential for the athleticism is insane. It's possibly one of the best like genetics I could see. Jeez, man, mass communication. I can't believe I just said this in the last fucking episode. Jesus Christ. Or maybe I was just telling my brother. I was telling my brother and my fucking mom. Like, there's a science for this. For how to indoctrinate you. Why was Epstein getting scientists meeting with scientists, politicians, entertainment industry. He was getting people with high influence in all the industries, and so was Robert Maxwell, publishing school textbooks. Owning publishing companies for scientific journals, academic journals, school textbooks, newspapers, all these forms of communication. They're directing narratives. Asia Wilson goes to school for mass communication. It is the process of imparting and exchanging information through mass media to large population segments. So she's just spewing this garbage. She's spewing garbage. Acting like Caitlin Clark has this privilege. Acting like white people have this privilege that she doesn't have. Asia Wilson is acting like she doesn't have the opportunities that white people have. When you grew up going to private school and you're a 6'4" athletic woman who's the best in the WNBA, what opportunities did you miss out on? What opportunities did white people get instead of you? Sounded like you got a lot black people didn't get. Sounded like you should be thankful you got the opportunities that you did. I don't know. Asia Wilson. Dumb. Alright. I'm gonna be looking into this company. That company seems like it has a lot of influence and never heard of it. Halal International. Not halal. Alright. If you stayed to the end, much appreciated. And we'll be back with multiple episodes this week. Vexion's about to break the goal record.